All right, so today I'm going to build the arrows for the bow. I just built, I have last year's, or I guess it's this year's VTM, but we're really close to the new bows coming out, and it's likely that it's going to be different than what I just bought. But I had a bow get run over on a hunt in Maine, and I was in need of another bow. I like to have two, one backup and one primary. So I have a VTM 31 that I just set up. I'm going to build arrows for it. I just got the last components I need. Again, not advice, but just showing you how I do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the broadheads. I shoot broadheads all year, so what I like is I like broadheads that have a lockable, or like if it's a mechanical, I like it to be lockable. If it's a fixed blade, I like it to be replaceable or easy to sharpen. So here I have the Sever 1.5s. These have a lockable feature so that the broadheads don't open, and I can shoot these year round. I have the Grim Reaper Micro Hades Pro. This is the smaller of the versions. And then this I just have replacement blades for, and they come incredibly sharp. So I can shoot with these year round. And then this year I'm going to try Levi Morgan's Schwacker. It's the 2-inch. Can't remember the number if it says on the box, but it's like the 2 whatever. It has the lockable blades as well. So I'm going to try this year and see how it does now that I'm getting my poundage a little bit higher than it was the last couple of years, and see if I can get a 2-inch to cut through and get good penetration. So I'm going to try those as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all, I think there should be 12 broadheads, and I'm going to weigh them, and I'm going to organize them from heaviest to lightest. And then I'm going to do the same, obviously, with my inserts and nocks to try to just close the gap on any tolerance issues that might be there. So I'd say tolerance-wise, so far the Severs have been the best. The Schwackers, I would say probably second best because you're looking at a smaller window, where the Micro Hades are over a bigger window but closer to the actual value, which is 100, which only this and this came out to 100 even. So everything's a squidge heavy, but all within a pretty tight tolerance. I think so. We got the high and the low. The high, we're looking at 104.4. The low, we're looking at 100 even. So all within 0.4. Now we have the inserts. So we'll do each of these. So a lot tighter tolerance on the inserts. Now we'll stack them together and just get an idea of what the tolerance is there. All right, so I ran out of memory on one of my SD cards. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna weigh the individual arrows to go with the broadheads. So now we have them in order. These two go together, these two go together, subsequently down the way. We're gonna glue the inserts in with the field points, no fletching, no nothing yet. And then we're going to take a look at the heaviest and lightest arrow and just see what that gap is from there. Because I'm not fletching yet, I don't care what the orientation is. I just want to get some glue on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a good amount of glue, and then I'm going to quickly spin and lock it into place. Kind of spin it some more, and then I'm going to wipe off the excess glue. It sets super quick, so you can't goof around getting it in there, but I got that one in. So I'm going to do that for all other 11 arrows and get the insert and broadheads into the arrow. So I got all these broadheads basically on here. I've paper tuned each arrow, so I got the knock rotated correctly. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put fletching on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I ran out of the AEE wipes, which I normally would use, but I'm just going to clean all the arrows with, that was actually pretty clean. I'm going to clean all the arrows with some rubbing alcohol just to get them prepped for glue. Got all these clean. Let them dry for a second. This year I'm using these Max Hunter vanes. They've worked really good for me this year. They seem fairly quiet and they steer well, so I'm okay with it. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on which ones you should and shouldn't use, but they've stayed on really well. I had not as great luck with the Q2Is. I tried those and I have them currently on my target arrows. You can see those here, but they're a little bit bigger profile, and I've had a harder time getting them to stay on the arrow. So once they fall off of these will be getting different vanes as well. Could be just the way that I'm applying them. And then for fletching, I've been using, I think this is called like the boning, what is it? The boning mini fletch. This thing is awesome for two reasons. One, it's pretty easy to do arrows. It adds some helical, and what I like about it is I can take it in the field with me really easily. So when I'm on a hunting trip or whatever, if a vane comes off, comes loose, or if I need to refletch an arrow, I can do that in the field. All right, so now we're gonna take an arrow. We have all the nocks indexed, so I'm just gonna find the index position that's correct so that I get the cock vane in line in the correct position with that knock, I don't even know what you call it, the knock point or the knock marker. Get it put in here, make sure that it aligns all the way up the arrow. Might have to index the, yeah, I gotta index the actual thing. So you can rotate inside of here and it'll move it, and I wanted to just make sure that that vane's gonna go right down across the top of that. Once I've done that, it should be accurate for all of the arrows after it. So get this first one put in here. Next I'm gonna take off the broadhead because I can't fit the this is like a cap. I can't fit that over the broadhead, so I just don't want to have to mess with it once I put glue on the vanes. I'm going to load all the vanes in here, like so. I'm going with all white this year for two reasons. One, I can see blood really well. Two, it gives me different positions to index the broadhead if I need to. Then I'm going to take the AEE Max Weld pen, the primer pen, give it just one run down each vane. I'm going to let that sit for just a second. That has been sitting for just a sec. I'm going to Apply glue to each vein individually. Come on, don't be stopped up again. There it goes. Apply glue to each vein. We're kind of running low on glue, so I think part of it might just be that. I think we have enough to do all 12 arrows here. All right, so then I'm gonna take the cap, go over. I like to get the cock vein kind of just set just right. Come through and set these pretty close, and then I'll squeeze, put the cap down, and top it. And then I'm gonna wait for about 30 seconds to a minute before I undo the clamp. So now we just wait. I'm gonna go ahead and do all 11 of these, and then I'll show you the finished product. I guess I did forget to mention, when you take it off, it's just take the cap off. Then the next thing is to press it up and pull it out. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it does a very pretty job with the fletching. And what I'll do is I'll go through on each arrow and put a little dab just on the tip where it goes in and on the back to make sure that the arrow stays on there nicely. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish, and then I'll check back in once I have the finished product. Now I've got 12 of these really sharp arrows with broadheads ready to go. I've also got one arrow that I'm going to always leave as a bare shaft, and I'm going to use that in a separate video to show how I tune broadheads out to 70 yards.